Welcome to CEC Online Lectures. Myself Aditya P. Tripathi. I am here to continue our discussion on the topic of standard costing. This is part 2 of our lectures on standard costing. In today's lecture of mine, I'll tell you about the numerical problems, how to take up the numerical problems into the chapter of standard costing. Before I start today's lecture, let me tell you what we discussed in the previous lecture of mine. We talked about the basics of standard costing. We also had a discussion about the different components of standard costing like material, labor and overhead variances. We also talked about how to deal with this different terms called favorable, adverse and neutral. What are the different steps into the standard costing system. In today's lecture of mine, I'll tell you about how to deal with the numerical problems in the chapter of standard costing. In today's lecture of mine, I'll start with the material variances. There are three types of variances we discussed in the previous lecture, like material variance, labor variance and overheads variance. In today's lecture, I'll tell you about how to solve a numerical problem when it comes to material variances. So let's start with the material variances. What is material variance? When we calculate the material variance, we actually have to find out the standard cost of material and then actual cost of material, so that we can find the variance between the two. We have to first have the set standard or given standard of material cost, and then we compare it with the actual cost of material, so that we can find out the variance, whether it is favorable, adverse or neutral. So let's start with the material variance. What is material variance? Material variance starts with the material cost variance. Material cost variance is equal to standard cost minus actual cost. Now what is standard cost? Standard cost is actually given for our particular usage of material. It is already decided by the costing department. We already have a set standard for calculation of material, that this will be the standard consumption of material based on the price and usage. This will be the standard cost of material for producing a particular units of output, or you can say the product. And then we compare it with the actual output, that what is my actual cost for actual output, and then both are compared to find out the variances, and it is known as material cost variance. So in this process, we actually find the difference between the two costs. One is the standard cost of material and then the actual cost of material, and the difference of these two is known as MCV, or we call it material cost variance. If you look at the formula goes like material cost variance is equal to standard cost minus actual cost. Now this material cost variance is actually the sum total of two components. Suppose if the variance comes, what can be the possible reason for this particular variance? The reason which we can attribute to the possible cause of this particular difference or variance, that is called the price or usage. So it can be either due to price or due to usage of material, or it can be attributed to both of them, partly from usage and partly from the price. So we'll have to justify the material cost variance, whatever we calculate, with the comparison of standard cost of material and actual cost of material. We have to justify it with the help of standard the price variance and usage variance. So if I have to calculate material price variance, what is the formula? Material price variance is equal to standard price minus actual price, and it has to be multiplied with the actual quantity. So what we do here, we actually find out the difference between the standard price and actual price, and whatever the difference is, the difference can either be 0 or it can be positive or it can be negative. Whatever the difference is, that need to be multiplied to the actual quantity, and the resultant value will actually be known as material price variance, or in short we can call it MPV. So this will actually be my material price variance. So if you look at this formula, we are finding out the difference between the standard price and actual price. So always remember the difference between the price we have to take, because we are calculating material price variance. So very simple to recall the formula of material price variance: standard price minus actual price into actual quantity. In this way we have to calculate material price variance. Once the price variance is calculated and the requisite tag is assigned to it, it may be favorable, it may be adverse, or it may be neutral. If there is no difference, obviously it is neutral. If the difference is positive, it is favorable. If difference is negative, difference between price is negative, it means it is adverse. So negative means adverse, positive means favorable, and 0 means neutral. There is no difference. Once the material price variance is calculated, the next step is we have to calculate material usage variance. Now, how to calculate material usage variance? If you can recall the formula of material price variance, what we did, if you recall the formula, under bracket it was standard price minus actual price, and since we are talking about the usage, we have to take standard quantity and actual quantity, the difference between the two. We'll have to take the difference between the standard quantity and actual quantity, and then it would be multiplied with the standard price, because we are dealing with the usage variance. So if you look at the formula of material usage variance, the formula is standard quantity minus actual quantity into standard price. So in this way, we have come to know about all three formula, how to calculate material price variance, usage variance, and material cost variance. The flow is, we have to first calculate the material cost variance, then it need to be justified with the computation of price variance and usage variance. My dear students, always remember that whatever is your cost variance, if it is favorable, adverse or neutral, the same need to be justified with the computation of price variance and usage variance. So once the cost variance is calculated, we have to justify. The best part of this particular topic is that you can verify your answer as and when you are doing the computation, and that I'll be showing you in the numerical computation in due course of our lecture today. So I'll tell you how to go for computing this particular difference between the standard cost and actual cost, and then justifying it with the computation of price variance and usage variance. Before we go for computing numerical problems or applying these formula into a numerical problem, let's discuss what can be the possible reasons for price and usage variance, or you can say what can be the reason for the possible reason for material cost variance. But for material price variance, if we look at the possible causes of material price variances are starting with a change in vendor prices. There might be a possibility, there is a variance of price, so there might be a possibility that your vendor has increased the price or changed the price. When the standard was set, the price was something else, and later on when you went for actually computing it or purchasing it from the market for producing, then the price is found to be different. So this can be one of the reasons for price variance, that your vendor has actually changed the price. So at the time of setting the standard, the price was something else, whereas when we went for buying the particular product from our vendor, the vendor had changed the price. So this can be the first reason for material price variance. Moving ahead, if we look at another reason for price variances, it can be inaccurate or outdated material price standards. It might be possible that your standard for material price is outdated. Whatever standard we are using, either it is inaccurate or it is outdated. So it can also be a reason for the price variance, that the standard which I am using is no more in practice, no more in operations. We have to actually change this particular standard, because the standard which was set is now redundant, is now obsolete, so we need to revise the standard. This can also be a reason for the difference in this particular price, or you can say the price variance. The next possible reason can be the difference between the quality of material purchased and the quality desired. There might be a possibility that the quality of material which you were supposed to purchase as per standard terms is not the same what we are purchasing. So this can also be a reason for material price variance. This can also be a reason for change in the standard price and actual price, that there is a difference between the quality of material purchased and the quality desired. Next possible reason for change in price variance can be difference between quantity discounts received and those anticipated. There might be a possibility that you had an agreement with your supplier that for purchasing the products from a specific supplier, they'll be giving you certain percentage of cash discounts or quantity discounts. So that discount can also change with the passage of time. There might be a possibility that at the time of setting standard, the rate of discounting was something else, whereas when we went for buying it, actually the rate of discount has changed. So this can also be a possibility due to which there would be a price variance. Next can be the purchase of substitute direct materials that differ from product specifications. There might be a possibility that we have purchased a substitute direct material which is different from which is having a different specification from that of the standard specification. So this can also be a reason for the price variance. So these are the possible causes, my dear students. When I'm saying that these are the possible causes, it may change from situation to situation. There might be a possibility that in a given setup there is only one reason for change in price, or you can say price variance, or there can be multiple reasons for price variance. That is something which is analyzed at the time of reviewing this particular uh, outcome, whatever we are getting out of variances. Once the management has to take action, once the management has to point out that what is the responsibility center, at what point we can say that these are the points where we have to modify, where we have to take corrective steps. So when it comes to taking corrective steps, these reasons actually play a very vital role. That the price variance is not because of the change in price by the vendor, it is because of the different specification of product which we have purchased, or it can be vice versa. So these are the possible reasons of material price variance. Moving ahead, we have to understand, if we have calculated the usage variance, what can be the possible reasons for usage variance. Just like the price variance, usage variance can also be caused due to different reasons. Starting with, there can be a reason of inaccurate or outdated direct material quantity standards, that what we are purchasing, there can be change or difference in the quantity standards of our material which we are purchasing. It can either be inaccurate or it can be outdated. So this can also be one of the reasons for the usage variance. Next can be poor workmanship or excellent workmanship. There might be a possibility that there is a very excellent or positive workmanship. The employees are working in an excellent manner. The wastage of material is very less, or you can say that even the normal wastage you have reduced. So that can also be a reason for usage variance. But it can be opposite also. Suppose if you got some new lot of employees, new recruitment is there, and the workforce is not very much trained. So there might be a possibility that they are actually, you can say that they are causing lot of abnormal wastage, and cause of which your usage of material has increased. So that can also be a reason for the usage variance. Either it can be on the positive side or it can be on the negative side. The next possible reason for material usage variance can be inferior or superior quality of direct material. That whatever material you are purchasing, either it is of inferior or superior quality as compared to your standards. Whatever is decided in the standard, either I bought a product which is inferior to what the standard says, or it may be superior to what my standard says. In both the situations, the variance is bound to happen. The variance is bound to come. Although that's a different case, that in one case, if you are going for buying superior products, then obviously your variance will be in negative terms, cause you are using greater quantity of material, or you can say your price is going to shoot up cause of change in quality. So that can also be a reason for this usage variance, that either you are using inferior quality or superior quality of product or material which you are using. There can be poor material handling also, that your workforce is not very much trained and they are handling the material very roughly, or you can say again they are causing greater quantum of normal loss than what is anticipated, than what the standard says. So this can also be a reason for the material usage variance. So in this way, my dear students, we have understood what can be the possible reasons for material price variance and usage variance. We have actually gone for having a qualitative, or you can say subjective kind of reasonings, that what can be the possible reasons for either price variance or usage variance. I'm once again repeating that this reason may be different for different situations and circumstances. For different factories, it may differ from one situation to another. So we cannot have a stereotyped kind of, or you can say set kind of reasons for all situations. There can be presence of one or more reasons, what I have discussed. Now we'll be solving a numerical problem to strengthen or to actually enhance our understanding of this particular topic called computation of material variances and drawing inferences or taking decisions. So let's start with the question. Let's have a numerical problem. Following informations are provided by a company called Samarth Limited. Now this company is giving you these informations. First is standard material per unit of output is 3, which means that for output of 1 unit, you are actually supposed to consume 3 units of raw material. So this is standard material per unit of output. Second is standard price per unit of material is rupees 2, which is given here. So the standard price is also given. Actual output is 80 units. My dear students, here we have to mind that actual output is for us given is 80 units. Actual price is 2 rupees and 50 paisa per unit. Actual material consumed is 250 units. And the question desires from you to calculate material cost variance, price variance, and usage variance. Even if the question doesn't say and question doesn't inform you about all three variances, that like material cost variance, price variance, and usage variance, and in place of it, it is asking you to calculate all material variances, which means you have to calculate all three variances: material cost variance, price variance, and usage variance. Now before we solve this particular question, let me tell you what will be our modus operandi, the way we have to go ahead with this particular numerical problem. In this problem, my dear students, we'll have to first calculate the actual cost, which in any case we are supposed to calculate. But prior to that, we'll have to calculate the standard cost for actual output. Because the question here is not providing you the actual cost. Question is giving you the actual cost per unit, the consumption of actual cost, but the question is not giving you standard for actual production. So we'll have to first calculate the standard cost for actual production and then the actual cost for actual production, so that we can compare both the cost and compute the material cost variance. So with this understanding that we may have to calculate the standard cost for actual output, we will be actually solving this numerical problem. So let's solve this particular question. We'll have to start with the material cost variance. As we know the formula for material cost variance, it is standard cost minus actual cost. Standard cost for actual production, as I told you, we'll have to compute, we'll have to calculate this. Actual production given in the question is 80 units. Per unit raw material required is 3 units. Standard units of raw material we'll have to calculate. The question says that you have to produce 80 units. You have produced 80 units as far as actual production is concerned, and it is saying that per unit of raw material required for producing this 80 units as far as standard is concerned is 3 units. So we'll have to calculate the standard units of raw material, and that can easily be calculated. 80 units into 3 is equal to 240 units. So now we have calculated the standard units of raw material for this actual production of 80 units. So this 240 units will actually be my actual consumption of this particular standard units for this actual production. Actual production is 80 units and the standard units required for this particular production is 240 units. Once the units are calculated, we'll have to multiply it with the standard price, which is given in the question. 2 rupees per unit, 240 units into rupees 2 is equal to rupees 480. So my dear students, in this way we have understood how to calculate the standard cost for actual output. In most of the numerical problems, we always try to understand whether my student is able to calculate the standard cost for actual output or not. And that is why deliberately we are not providing you the standard cost for actual output. We provide you standard cost for a given unit, for a given level of production, which is normally not the same for which you are doing the actual production. So which is entirely different from the actual production. So in this way we have learned how to calculate the standard cost for actual output. So for actual output we have simply applied the formula to calculate the standard cost for actual output. Once it is computed, the next step is we'll have to calculate actual cost. For actual cost it is very simple. We have to multiply the actual units of raw material with the actual price, and the resultant value will actually be my actual cost. So let's see how to calculate the actual cost of production. It is very simple. Actual production is 80 units. Actual units of raw material used is 250 units. Actual price of raw material reported in the question is 2 rupees and 50 paisa. Now this is my actual price, which is different from the standard price. Standard price was 2 rupees. Actual price of raw material is 2 rupees and 50 paisa. Now we can very easily calculate the actual cost. 250 units into 2.50 and my actual cost becomes rupees 625. So in this way, we have understood how to calculate the standard cost for actual output and actual cost for actual output. Once these two are computed, it is quite easy for us to calculate the variance. So let's see how to calculate variance. We know the formula. Material cost variance is equal to standard cost minus actual cost. Standard cost we have calculated. Actual cost also we have calculated. So we can very easily calculate the variance. So let's see how to calculate the variance. Standard cost minus actual cost. Rupees 480 is my standard cost and actual cost is rupees 625. The difference of these two is rupees 145. Now here I have assigned a tag of adverse to it. You have to understand how to assign the tag of favorable, adverse or neutral. In this question, we have to, once we compare the standard cost and actual cost, if my actual cost is more than the standard cost, then obviously it is causing some loss to me, it is causing additional cost to me. That's why it is adverse. It will be regarded as an adverse situation for me as a producer, as a manufacturer. So we have to understand if my actual cost is more than standard cost or standard cost is less than actual cost, then obviously this is the resultant value or the variance is adverse for me because it is causing additional cost to me, or you can say it may ultimately cause loss to the business organization or entity. That is why we are assigning it a tag of adverse. So in this way we have learned how to calculate material cost variance and assign tag to it. We have compared the standard cost and actual cost and the difference is assigned with a tag of adverse here cause the actual cost is greater than that of standard cost. Once it is computed, now the second step will be to justify these two answers. We will have to justify these two answers by computation of price variance and usage variance. So let's calculate the price variance because we know the formula. So the second step will be the calculation of material price variance. Let's calculate the material price variance. Material price variance is equal to standard price minus actual price into actual quantity. In this question, standard price given is rupees 2, actual price is rupees 2.50. The difference will be multiplied with the actual quantity, that is 250. Now here the difference is negative because standard price is 2 rupees whereas actual price is greater than that, that is 2.50. So the difference will be 0.50 negative. It will be multiplied with 250 units, that is actual quantity, to arrive at material price variance. Now here the material price variance is also assigned a tag of adverse. Why it is adverse? Because the reason is the same here, because actual price is greater than standard price. And that is why the price variance is adverse, 125 adverse. So we have understood how to calculate material price variance and assign tag to it. Once it is computed, the next step is material usage variance. Now for material usage variance, the formula is standard quantity minus actual quantity multiplied with standard price. In this question, standard quantity for actual output is 240 units and actual quantity is given in the question, that is 250. So here the consumption is greater than the standard. So obviously it is going to be adverse for us. Standard price is rupees 2. 10 units into 2 is equal to rupees 20 adverse. So in this way we have not only calculated the cost variance but also the price variance and usage variance. In price variance and usage variance, it is quite easy for you to recall the formula. Always keep this thing in mind that when I am computing the price variance, under bracket I will be using the difference between the two prices, that is standard price and actual price. And when I am computing the usage variance, obviously under bracket I will be using the difference between two quantities. And what are those two quantities? Standard quantity and actual quantity. Now once it is computed, it's time for us to justify whether whatever we have computed is correct or not, and for that we'll be justifying the answer. Material cost variance is justified by price variance and usage variance. Cost variance we computed, it was 145 rupees adverse. Price variance is 125 adverse and usage also came to be rupees 20 adverse. So 125 adverse plus 20 adverse is equal to 145 adverse. In this way left hand side is exactly equal to right hand side. In this question, my dear students, fortunately both the sides, all the components have adversity, all the components have adverse tag. There might be a possibility that one of the component out of price and usage variance may have the favorable tag. So in that way, we'll be applying the plus minus computation. Favorable will be on the other, on one side. Favorable will be treated as plus sign, and adverse will be treated as minus sign. So plus minus minus, the differential value will be taking here to justify our answer. So in this way, we have computed material cost variance and also justified it with the computation of price variance and usage variance. So in today's lecture of mine, my dear students, with this numerical problem, I tried to make you understand how to calculate the material cost variance, price variance and usage variance. And we have also justified the usage of cost material by the price variance and usage variance. Now, as far as the management accountant's action is concerned, after computing this variance, they can assign reason to it that out of this 145 adverse cost variance, 125 is coming out of price variance. So significant cause is the significant, or you can say the variance is significantly caused by price variance, but usage variance is also causing certain quantum, although it is very minimum, that is rupees 20 adverse, but still it need to be accounted for. So in this way, my dear students, we have understood how to calculate material cost variance, price variance and usage variance. In next lecture of mine, I'll again come with another numerical problem to increase your understanding about the different variances, that is material cost variance, price variance and usage variance. I hope you must have understood and enjoyed today's lecture of mine. Thank you so much.